What draws you to the show?
My friends drag me.
Oh yeah?
But I love it though, it's a good time.
This is my first time coming to see the show.
Very nice.
Excited.
And you're early.
Yes.
You get some good seats.
Yes, and I'm glad we came early because it's already packed.
This guy's having a good time. You bet. He said you bet. Ma'am?
Oh, lovely.
See, lovely. Well, the theater is obviously the place to be. It's a good time, good humor, good writing, good comedy, good people.
Does everyone know what a burlesque show is?
Comedy, magic, performance art, striptease, music, fire spinning, glass walking, song and dance. A lot of different smaller acts that on their own are pretty weak, but together form a whole, you know, a variety, a great potpourri patchwork of a lot of different genres and ideas and skills and crafts and the template, you know, that served for burlesque, that vaudeville, you know, that's been around forever. It's American Idol, it's David Letterman, you know, it's your show of shows. What we do is rooted firmly in the present, you know, it's our ideas, it's our art, it's our method, just following a antiquated mode, you know, that's never gonna die.
I explained the show to be a mixture of Saturday Night Live with a twist of the Rocky Horror Picture Show thrown in with the Family Feud game show. So we have the audience participation aspect with Dancing Girls. I mean, it's a crowd-pleasing show.
First and foremost, I think we should start the evening with a little burlesque dance.
From the audience, it's when the unexpected happens inside of these dances that make them more interesting. Like when we did the Sugar Plum Fairy Dance, there's all these, you know, supposedly cute, yeah, we are cute girls dancing and doing little cute things, and then our prima ballerina is Joe, the cab driver, you know, dressed in a tutu and prancing around on stage in his white underwear and white socks, and people thought that was funny.
You know, I have absolutely no shame whatsoever. I will exhibit my fat body to anybody. You know, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter because my body is beautiful.
I try to add a little twist into all of my performances, like light my pasties on fire or something. something small that makes it different.
Just about anyone, you start hooping, the room goes silent, you know, and the focus is on you. It can be subversive, and it's you know, more art than anything else. You know, it's not adult entertainment. It's, you know, celebrating the body and celebrating, you know, movements and what can be done with that, and but also celebrating sensuality and sexuality. You know, it is interesting afterwards. You know, people say all sorts of things. Like I've had a woman say, you know, I can't hula hoop at all. Does that mean I'm bad at sex? You know, and well, honey, I wouldn't worry about it. You know, in our day of lewdness, you know, I think at least what we're doing is artful, and then that's what makes it so much more than, say, your average strip club, you know. And I think that's what's so exciting is, you know, we're always, you know, continuing to kind of add more things to our repertoire and just becoming bigger and better, and it's just, it's a great thing to experience. I mean, even if you come regularly, you can watch it unfold. You know, one day you'll see audacious hoops available for purchase. That's in the future.
Is there some kind who decides
in a way, it's sort of, he's like our Barnum. He's our Barnum. And he's putting on the greatest show on earth, and he'll like travel around and try to to finagle everybody he can to be in it. And he's a charlatan, and he's kind of a thief, you know, in a way. And he's scandalous and kind of disgusting, but very sexy at the same time. And I think that's why he makes such a good host. Because I can't imagine, you know, that show without him as the host.
Suspension of disbelief. I request that you turn it on overdrive from this point out.
I can't adequately to describe the experience. They have to see the poster and get it from a lot of, you know, like a lot of our shows, just simply word of mouth.
I didn't get into the business to play it safe. You know, I got into this because I enjoy what I do and I like doing things that no one else wants to try. Really had no idea what I was going to walk into. It was interesting, but you know, they did a great job.
It was the most unique thing probably I've ever seen here in Grand Rapids. Here was something that at the same time, in the same 90-minute stretch, was brilliant, terrible, profane, edgy, original, and that you could walk out of it having experienced all those extremes. That was, to me, that was really invigorating.
And they were a really creative group, and they were here early, and they did a pretty good job about tearing down and stacking chairs and trying not to leave us with too much of a mess.
There's never been a time where anything happened on stage that the principal people involved with this didn't tell me about in advance. So we have a level of trust that I know that they're going to do things how they want to do them, and I encourage them to, but they always ask me if they feel like, not just if it might be illegal, because they haven't asked me if they could do something that I found that would be illegal, and I've checked with the police or fire. You know, it's more, they even ask me, would you prefer would this reflect badly on you if we did this? And I think that sentiment is something that I really appreciate.
The burlesque show got a lot of press. Mentioned the Sazerac Lounge quite a lot, and I mean, that's the kind of thing that you can't buy it. You know, they were pulling in a pretty diverse crowd.
They have done that, and they've done that in a way that has attracted audiences that are in their 20s, 30s. I sold tickets to somebody that was 75 this week, who was just really happy that he could come here and see something, that anything could happen.
They definitely brought in couples, you know, people in there, definitely in their 30s, 40s, 50s, just looking for a new entertainment, something that was not available, something very different from the norm in this area. You know, it was fantastic for the bar from that perspective, and the sales were certainly nice as well.
It's always good to have an event that brings in 200 people, you know, that always helps with concessions.
So a Sunday was about $700 on average back in the beginning, and you know, by the time the burlesque show was into its, you know, 4th or 5th show here, on those Sundays we were doing anywhere from $1,700 to $2,000. You know, if I get 50 people in my place that have never been in here, and 10 of them come back, I mean, that's fantastic. You know, you just increased your, if they come back once a month even, but I can do that every month. I get 50 people and 10 new ones back, and then they tell, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 of their friends. And I mean, that's what you're looking for when I talk about sort of the word-of-mouth advertising and doing unique things and reaching a customer base that you wouldn't think to go after. And frankly, I wouldn't know how. You know, if you're looking at booking this kind of entertainment, then you know, you've got to be willing to take a little risk and have a little faith and try new stuff.
Ruining clothing, hopes, and dreams is what Super Happy Funtime Burlesque is all about.